This one looks interesting. Lack of gains is going to be a pain in the butt. The only way to gain useful cards is via transmogrify. So, like, you can theoretically gain all sorts of cards, just incredibly slowly and unreliably, because you have to have the card in your starting hand to transmogrify it and other stuff. That'll be a little bit awkward. Paddock Crown, I think, is a pretty strong together. Crowning horses tends to be really good. The games are really limited, though, of course. So, I mean, maybe you can for sure consider like greening relatively early here. Because like you can only ever get one province per turn. You could mill a province with transmogrify, but you can't. Actually, no, you could technically get more than one province per turn. You could mill one province with transmogrify with a wayfarer also in hand, and that would cost the wayfarer cost 8, and then you could transmogrify the wayfarer into a province and then like buy a province. I don't think that's going to happen. That requires not just a particular set of cards, but like a particular starting deck position that you have minimal control over. So yeah, the game's a limiting factor. I'm not sure exactly what to do with that info. I think I probably want to open with a transmogrify and then get silos ASAP and then try to get rid of these estates pretty fast. You can trash the coppers as well. If you have a watchtower in hand, you can transmogrify copper into copper and then trash the copper that you gain with watchtower. So you could thin the coppers as well. I'm not sure like how important or worth it is to do that, but it's like a thing you could do. It's like a vassal. Vassal just seems like silver, but a little bit better because it like you can't collide with T-Mog because that's non-terminal, but it cycles one card through your deck, which seems good. Maybe border guard now. What did he open with? He opened silver transmogrify. I think it's more or less equivalent. He didn't see transmogrify turn 3, which is good. Transmogrify on turn 3 is much better than turn 4. Neither of us got the great draw. Here, I think I just take a border guard off of the transmogrify. I guess I can do the silos thing first and make a decision. So yeah, if I take border guard, I'm guaranteed to hit 5. I'll get to my vassal and I'll play it, and that'll trigger a shuffle that has coppers in it. But that's actually a good thing, not a bad thing with silos around. Triggering a shuffle with coppers lets you just discard them all to the discard, which is good. It does have an estate in it, which is not ideal. But I top take a bunch of coppers, and that part is a good thing. And I can take, if I take Paddock now, I'm slightly over terminaled. I could take Crown instead. I think I'll take Crown now and then Paddock is my next 5. I do want to get a second transmogrify somehow. It's just gains are so limited here. All right, I think I'm crowning this border guard. I don't want to hold out for trying to find the vassal. Oh, this isn't good. I don't want to see these two conflicting with each other because I want them both. I think I value the transmogrify more. Like the number of gains I get in this game is literally just the number of transmogrifies I play. I'll take Lantern and maybe I can get back. Never mind. There's another border guard down here, which just happens to be the very bottom. And I was hoping I'd pick up the border guard, play it, and maybe get back around to the vassal and hit 5 anyway. It was not meant to be. I didn't even hit 4. Oh, that's really sad. I guess just more border guards. I'm not sure if like having more border guards in the deck is and like unequivocally good, because I mean normally they're shifting, but also like the cards you don't really want to transmogrify And so the more border guards in your deck, the less likely you are to top deck, for example, here in a state, which you do want to transmogrify. I think I'm a little behind here. He's got 2 transmogrifies and 2 5s. Now 3 5s. I mean, that third 5 is just a product of him being player 1 and having had one more turn. But I think I can safely say I'm at least a little behind. I also can't call transmogrify this turn. I mean, like I could, but I can't do anything good with it. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Do I want to trigger this shuffle? I think yes. It top decks in a state, which I do want to top deck. Or it doesn't, because both the states ended up in the discard. But top decking coppers is also fine with silos. All right, I got 8. I think it's Paddock time now. Oh, you know what the dream is? Get 2 transmogrifies down, and then you transmogrify 2 coppers. The first copper you trash with a watchtower. The second you can then turn into a wayfarer, because then wayfarers will cost 0. That would be really nice. But all this really hinges on having a lot of transmogrifies, which I don't. He is greening already. I cannot say that is unreasonable. I mean, I don't think I would have greened yet, but it's just, for province purposes, it's like a single gain kingdom. Not sure what I turned this into. I mean, I was talking about the virtues of Watchtower, but I'm not even sure just having a Watchtower in your deck is all that good. It'll eventually let you top deck horses, which might be nice. But for doing any of the relevant stuff I was discussing, it has to be in your starting hand, which, you know, putting in your deck is not like a reliable way to get into your starting hand. So I think just like stuffing a Watchtower in my deck isn't actually necessarily helping me. Maybe it's just a silver or something. No, like the reason I was considering wanting a silver is because it costs 3, and I want to like transmogrify stuff up to more transmogrifies. But I think horses are going to serve that function just fine on their own, where I can turn horses into transmogrifies like he did. So I don't think I need like a silver to do that. Am I just buying transmogrify here? I really, really, really want more transmogrifies. But it also sucks passing up the 5s, like Paddock and Crown. I think I just want this too much to say no. I have to get them into my deck. All right. Well, we'll do our best here, but I think the issue is just this kingdom. It's about the gains. The gains are limited, and you can buy 4s or 5s once per turn, and you can transmogrify things. And I didn't hit 4 and 5 as much early on, and I had like a turn or two where my transmogrifies weren't doing enough for me. Because I didn't have any junk on top to use them on. Yeah, so I'm like a number of turns behind. I'm behind by 2 provinces, but I'm also behind in building. He's got more 5s than I do. And he's thinning provinces, which I think makes sense. It brings the game to a close faster, so reduces my chances of catching up. I've got 2 transmogrifies down. I could turn these horses into... I could turn one horse into a 5 by transmogging it twice. I could turn them both into transmogrifies. As much as I want that, that might make it hard for me to hit 8. And I probably do need to start greening. I could attack him. Is it worth trying to get a legionary at some point? But then, like, also, how am I getting a gold? I could bureaucrat attack him. Not that I really want silvers. I could turn one horse into a bureaucrat and the other into a watchtower, and then just hit him with repeated bureaucrats and trash all the silvers as they come in. Get him stuck in the old bureaucrat pin. That would be pretty funny. Like, he doesn't have that many green cards in his deck. 2 provinces and 1 estate. Plus, like, he wouldn't fall for it twice. If he had even 2 money in his deck, he could just, like, buy Guardian, and that would shut it off for the next turn. Well, I do think I need more of these 5s, so I think I'm just turning this into another 5. Do I want to put the horses in the shuffle? I'm thinking no. Like, I think I'm going to draw enough to hit 8 either way. And so if I put the horses in the shuffle, I'd have to draw through them, which would be annoying. So it makes more sense, I think, to trigger the shuffle first and then play the Paddock. All right. Down, but not totally out. I mean, he could have a freak dud here. The problem is my deck is not, like, actually better, despite, you know, theoretically having built for longer. That was more just, like, my deck has gotten to the same point that his is at, greening-wise. It just took me longer to get to that deck state. I think maybe if he does one more time, I've got a decent shot. I'm not sure how likely that is. Probably not super likely. Plus, I also have the not dud, despite having, you know, a deck of roughly similar quality. Yep, well, that's province. And that's a concern. Do I turn, like, a transmogrify back into a 5 cost? I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess I'm turning this into a Paddock. None of it's pretty. Certainly none of it is pretty. I've got one more transmogrify down there to find. No, I don't. I killed it. I just killed it. But I've got to draw anyway because playing that vassal, I just realized meant I didn't have enough actions to play my Paddocks. So if he finds a province, he just wins here because he can, even if he doesn't have 8, he can just, like, transmogrify province into province twice. Which puts me in an awkward spot, right? Because, like, I need him to dud, which means not finding province on top. But if he doesn't find province on top, he's probably just going to, like, draw to hit 8 and then win anyway. It's all bad news. Yeah, that's too much of a points deficit for me to come back from.